part of being an entrepreneur that's very different from working at a corporation is the sheer fun involved in building a business like this. Hello, Khadijah. How you doing?
I'm great. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Good. Where are you located?
I am in Lagos, Nigeria, a
Excellent.
continent away. I'm here because of COVID. Our borders are closed, so I usually am based in DC, but I've been here since March.
How is COVID there, Nigeria?
It's not so bad. I think right now we're at about 30,000 cases nationwide. Generally milder with a lower death rate, so people are pretty cautious, and things are partially shut down, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to talking to you and hearing about this new business.
I'm the founder of Nile at thenihilist.com, and Nile is a digital platform that connects consumers with Black-owned brands online. So we've built out a directory, and that directory allows users to quickly and easily find brands that align with their special interest and are trusted to shop with when they are doing their online shopping.
And this is all products based. It's not like internet companies necessarily, or
Exactly. We're focused on online shopping, all products based, very e-commerce focused, primarily for accessibility. We really wanted to make sure that anyone who came to our site could buy with any of the businesses that they saw there, and it wasn't restricted by locality. So right now we have around 1,950 businesses, and we have a backlog of businesses to put into the site, and then we're also getting submissions from business owners who want to join on the site every day, which is really exciting.
I went looking at your site. I like the search engine. I think it worked really well. Like, how much traffic are you getting now to the site?
So we launched on March 1st, just in time for COVID. Okay. We had an in-person launch party in DC, which was amazing, and had a couple hundred people come to that. And then throughout that month, we had around 1,600 users on the site, brand new site. So, modest traffic. And then in June, I just went over our analytics for June. So June, we grew from March over 1,000%. We had almost 19,000 users throughout the course of the month. So
that's very exciting.
Growing.
Yeah, wow, that's very exciting. Excellent.
Really exciting.
And basically, people finding out about it mostly through like social media and press and things. It's not, you're not spending a lot of money on marketing, I would assume.
No, we've barely spent any money on marketing, and we've started testing some social media marketing, which performs really well, but we do really well with organic social media, and we've really grown our audience at this point. We have a gamut of social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we've had gotten up to almost 500,000 impressions with our social media that we're pushing out every month. So it's a lot of word of mouth, a lot of press, and a lot of social media.
Great. And right now they're just clicking over to the business. You're not making any sort of affiliate commission or anything like that at this point.
So we actually do have an affiliate program. People are clicking over to the businesses, but we have a special affiliate program that allows businesses to offer a discount code to incentivize our audience to shop. And then we take a percentage of revenue generated from that code. So when we started the site in March, we had maybe 5 businesses that pre-enrolled, and now we have around 50 that are enrolled in that program. So we've started generating our modest revenues from our
Ebates, where is it similar to Ebates, where the customer saves money and then you get a percentage back from the business?
Yeah, basically. So the business can determine what makes sense for them in terms of the discount that they offer. And then we take that discount, we promote it on our site alongside their business listing, and really allow them to, to capture a larger segment of our audience.
Very exciting. So I'm so curious to hear, you have traffic's growing, you're not spending a lot of marketing. It doesn't sound like you probably have too high of a burn rate. how are you thinking about sort of taking this to the next level, assuming you want to?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is the first step, but our overarching goal is to make it easier to buy Black online. And so just today, I Googled Black-owned businesses and I got over 1 billion results, which is what tells me that you need something like Nile, because for people who are interested in buying Black, and so many people are, it's almost impossible to wade through what's happening on the internet, especially if you're an online shopper. It's hard to find businesses or vet them. And so, we started with the directory in order to give people that information, aggregate it, and make it easier for people to find businesses that they wanted to shop with. And then the next step is actually creating an e-commerce platform on our site that will allow users to buy directly from the businesses when they come to our platform. So then they don't have to click out, and just really streamline that process. So there's less friction essentially for the user when they want to buy with the businesses that they see on our site. But we have so many ideas about how to further streamline and incorporate buying Black into your daily life in a way that is easy and achievable for users and also beneficial for the businesses.
Great. So have you raised any money yet? Any external funds?
Have not raised any money. It's been completely self-funded, save a very small influx from a pitch competition that I did, like a crowdfunding pitch competition with Black Girl Ventures. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but it's a nonprofit organization that that hosts these crowdfunding pitch competitions for Black female founders. And I participated in their first virtual competition right after we launched in March and won that competition. So won a very, very small amount of money, but it was really exciting just to get some practice with pitching and talking to people about the business, which is literally my favorite thing to do.
That's great. So is that something you want to do? Do you want to raise capital and build this into a really big business? How are you thinking?
I do. And so, there are other Black business directories out there. And there are a lot of differentiation points, I think, between what exists and, what I've created. But, one thing that I really see is that none of them have raised money and really, been able to build something that can really scale. And so I really want to start raising money either later this year or Q1 of next year and really build this business out so that it's well positioned to make a real tangible difference for the business owners on our platform, for these small businesses that can sometimes get lost in like the retail noise of the internet.
Mm-hmm. I understand that you're not currently doing this full time. Is that something that you would consider doing at some point? And how do you think about that? That's a big decision.
Yes. So I am not doing it full time. I am a lawyer in my day life, and I do want to do it full time. Like I said, it's my favorite thing to talk about. It's my favorite thing to do. I wake up sometimes at 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh, we should change this element on the site. That would make it so much easier for users. So I literally can't stop thinking about it. And I want to be in a position to really raise the money and do this and only this and make it something that that really grows, that scales, and that is better positioned to achieve our mission. So yeah, I want to do it full time.
Okay, great. Well, you definitely have the bug. I can tell that. The telltale sign is thinking about it while you're sleeping and waking up with ideas. Then you're hooked.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like in the shower and I'm like, oh, wait, I need to write that down before I lose that thought. But it's so exciting, especially because I really started working on this last year and building it last fall and then launching in March, and to see how far we've already come. is really exciting. And just to see, every time we get a social media shout out where a user is like, oh, I found this great business or product through Nile. Thanks so much. I get so happy. It's like winning a case when you're a lawyer.
That's great. I'm so curious, if you have any questions or things that, you want to ask or you're wondering about.
Yes, I have a lot of questions. So one, I'm really curious about funding. Going back to your question about whether I want to raise funding, I'm curious about your advice for businesses that are very, very, very early, like mine. What is generally your advice when it comes to when is a good time to fundraise, and also where to look?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think first, I don't foresee in the beginning, in the early stages, you're going to need a lot of capital to sort of prove this out, to get to a point where you can raise a venture round and sort of blow it out. I probably would be looking for individuals, angel investors that you think could help you and help the business. People that have done businesses online before and have some experience. So I think that's probably worth more than the money at this point. And like I said, I don't think you need a lot of money probably to prove out enough to be able to do a big venture round, which is the ultimate goal. Like, you don't want to continue to finance this with individuals, because they'll spend the angels' ability to invest. But you also need to prove enough to be able to attract venture investors. So I'd probably start with angels, individuals, and you probably need to stage this in a way that gets to a point where it is venture backable. And I think first it starts off with just having a product and having people use it and say good things and have a good experience with it. You're sort of already there. That's kind of step one. Step two is to show that you could put dollars to work, and basically through marketing, you can spend $1 and make a return on that dollar that is got a good IRR. That's basically, it's I call it CAC to LTV. CAC is your cost to acquire a customer, and then LTV is the lifetime value of that customer. And you want to typically see that the LTV being 3 to 4 times what it costs to acquire a customer. If you can do that and prove that, I think then there'll be businesses, venture capitalists that will want to invest and want you to scale this thing. But I think it's always good to have some early proof. And so in order to prove the CAC, you have to find some places to advertise. Probably I would imagine social media would be a good place, Instagram and Facebook, for sure. Maybe some Instagram influencers potentially.
Right.
A good place to start. But anyway, you have a certain amount of dollars allocated to that. And then try and work through your revenue model and figure out how you're going to monetize a customer and track each of the cohorts of new customers that are coming in. How much do they shop with you? How long do they stay with you? How much do you expect to earn over the life of that customer? Now, you're going to have a short period of time that they're with you, but you'll see the slope of the curves. You'll look at the cohort of the new people coming in, and you can track, what do they do in month 1? What do they do in month 2? What do they do in month 3? And if they're sticky and staying with you, coming back, great sign. And then you can kind of extrapolate it out. You're not going to be correct, but at least you have something to show that seems somewhat believable. And then I think you said you've already got 50 or so of these businesses that are paying you a commission and giving discounts. I think first thing I would do is hire somebody to help you ramp that up to all 2,000. Continue to add great brands and try to get everybody on there. The more discounts you have, the more sticky it's going to be, the more revenue you're going to make, and the more your LTV to CAC relationship is going to look good. So I'd say raise enough money and kind of work backwards from each stage of business. So if you know what you need to do to sort of raise the venture round, which is prove CAC, this means spending marketing dollars, prove LTV, which means trying to maximize the opportunity for LTV, which is getting all the vendors on there, or the businesses on there, to have a discount, which helps your CAC, and also pay you a commission, which helps your revenue model. And so how much money do you need to spend to prove the marketing, and to get everybody on there with a discount, and then also to last long enough to kind of prove the LTV a bit, which is probably 6 to 12 months. And so what it'll take to do all that, if you said, Mark, I mapped it out, I need 2 people to do this, I need 1 person in marketing, I need to spend, a couple $100,000 in marketing, I need this, that, and that's your plan. Maybe you need $500,000, maybe you need $1 million. And that gets you to the next stage when you're ready to do a bigger venture round. Either, $2 to $5 million kind of round would be typical in that stage there. So yeah, it's just a matter of working backwards. And then once you figure out how much you need, it's a matter of, talking to people, making introductions, giving a lot of pitches. The first business that I did where I raised money, I raised $5 million from 60 angel investors. And I talked to hundreds and literally started with 1 person. I didn't know anyone. My family didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone. I knew I had a boss. I was in banking. I had a boss, and I said, "Hey, I want to do this. Would you invest a little bit?" And he did. And I said, "Oh, do you know anybody?" Because I don't know anybody. And he said, "Yeah, I'll make a couple intros." And he made a couple intros. And literally from that 1 person, I can trace every person back to that 1 person. Each person I asked for, "Hey, do you know a couple people?" And just started pitching. And the average investor put in 60, it's 80 grand, 85 grand or something per investor, and I had 60 of them. I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think you want 60 investors. I don't think you need 5 million. It feels like you probably need 500 to $1 million to kind of get to that next stage. And ideally, get 5 investors to put in 100 grand or 10 to put in 50, something like that. I don't think you want more than that in terms of investors. And again, people that could help the business is preferable. At some point, you don't want to be too choosy. The
Right.
cash is of the utmost important. But so that's kind of how I would think about dissecting this problem here.
Going back to something that you said a little while ago about not being you can't be too choosy when it comes to those early investors. And I am very curious about that because, especially as a woman, as a Black woman, as a young Black woman, plus the fact that I am building something that is very centered on the Black community, which has been, I think, very largely discounted or undercounted when it comes to a lot of venture-backed, ventures. And so it's just, I'm wondering if you can think of any things that I should particularly be looking for when I'm ready to look for investors that would indicate that they are ones who will be very fruitful and be very strongly behind what I'm doing, and if there are any sort of red flags that I might look for.
I think the only red flag where you actually tell somebody, you know what, I don't want your check, is if you think that they're going to really, I don't know what the word is, just pester you constantly with questions and trying to get you to do things with the business, even though they're a small minority investor, have a lot of questions, and why don't you do this, and why don't you do that, and you feel obligated because they're an investor to talk to them, but that could be draining and could really not only draining, but then maybe force you in a position to make bad decisions, because you feel somewhat obligated as an investor, and especially first-time entrepreneurs don't really appreciate, like, you can tell to the investor to go get lost, if they're bothering you, but it's like not typical. So I haven't found too many in my life, like investors like that are just like, you almost want to, like, you ever hear of, like, fire your customer? It's like fire your investor. But I would be on the
lawyers have that. We fire our clients sometimes.
That's the only red flag that I would really say.
Right now, I'm really focused on trying to improve the platform and make sure that we have a good feedback loop from our users as well as the businesses that are coming onto the platform, so that we can be, pretty quickly, like, updating and iterating and making sure that we're keeping people for longer and encouraging them to do more on the site. So do you have any advice for, good ways to grab feedback from people when they're coming onto your site and as they're navigating around?
Yeah, I mean, the classic Net Promoter Score, NPS, lots of businesses today using that. Basically on a scale of 0 to 10, rate how likely you would be to refer this website to a friend. 9 or 10 is a promoter, 0 to 6 is a detractor. You take the percentage of detractors and percentage of promoters, subtract them, that's your Net Promoter Score. Anything above 70 is good. Anything above 80 is incredible. I think if you're below 70 with a site like this, you probably want to make some changes. And it's just one question, and then people could have a text box to say kind of why they gave you the score. You'll learn so much from that. Sometimes with feedback, less is more. Like, it's hard to get people to fill out multiple question surveys. It's easy to get one question, like it's just fill out this one question. Most people are likely to do it. And the more people you get to fill out the survey, the more you'll be getting the real feedback. Because if it's something, you have a selection bias. If it's hard, and you get few people to do it, people that have an axe to grind might be the ones that click on it. You know what I mean? It's like you get a little bit different of a response, and not. So you want to get as many responses as you can. The higher the percentage of people that come to your site that fill it out, the more accurate I think the overall response will be. That's why this one question is so good. And I think that one question alone with a text box will probably tell you everything you need to know. I see a lot of people that are like, oh, great, I got a $5 million valuation, with nothing. And that's great, but are you thinking about the next round? Because investors are going to want to see at least a 2x step up. They're going to want to see a 10 million pre off a 5 million post, or if it was raised $1 million at a 5 pre or a 6 post, and so 12 million pre. If you don't have enough capital and enough runway to get that sort of step up, then you lose momentum. Investors aren't happy. New investors aren't happy. The old investors aren't happy. The old investors don't want to step up in the new round because they're not happy. New investors don't want to come in because the old investors aren't coming in. Like, there's lots of things that maybe you wouldn't think about, that dynamics that come into play. You make the early investors money, good things happen. I've just found that to be the case. And when you don't, bad things happen. Because the existing investors will step up with bigger checks. They'll tell their friends. They'll make introductions. When you have venture capitalists that want to talk to your original investors, they say how fired up they are, and yes, they're coming into the new round, and you get this sort of momentum going. And the only difference between having momentum and not having momentum is two things. It's making sure you over-deliver on what you told the investors, and make sure that you do it at a valuation where you're really confident you can see a step up. And most entrepreneurs make mistakes on both. Very few get both right. So just think about that. When you're thinking about taking dilution, it's not about the current round, it's about the future rounds. And if you can get through 5 rounds of financing, raise $1 million and then raise $3 million and then raise $10 million and then raise $20 million and raise $50 million, you're gonna probably have created a really big business. And whether you have 20% of the company or 5% of the company, it's not gonna matter. It's gonna be a really great outcome. So I wouldn't get too hung up on dilution and valuation at this early stage. I think putting together a pitch deck, a short deck, maybe 10 to 12 slides at this point would be more than enough, just to kind of tell the story. What's your mission? What's your vision? I think it's really important for you to spend some time thinking about that. The mission is more why you exist. It's that North Star. It doesn't change. Sort of the emotional reason for existing. And then the vision is, what do you want to become? What's the goal? What's the big audacious goal? And sort of really honing that, I think, is really important. And I always like to start any deck with that. First slide actually would just be like, what is this business? A lot of times people don't even know exactly what it is until halfway through the deck. So I always recommend start the very first slide. Like, what is this? Is it an app? Is it a site? I think your business is not hard to understand, but still, you'll be surprised, people won't get it, So just start with what is it, then mission and vision, and then what's the problem in the market, how are you solving it, and and then talk about the product, how you hope to develop the product, and then some financials, but crude because you don't really know yet. But you're going to spend some money in marketing. You're going to hope to make some revenue from the commission. What could that look like over the next couple of years? At this early stage, the financials, people discount it, but it sort of just helps to know how you're thinking about the business. That's why even showing sort of the revenue model or the LTV model, how you think about it. There's a CAC, there's a customer, there's cohorts. They're going to shop and come back, and this is how much revenue we think we can make, or how much commission we think we can make over time from a single customer. Therefore, this is how much we have to spend to acquire them, because we want to make a 3 to 4x return on the cost to acquire them. And so you sort of build a little bit of a model, like, hey, we can spend $30 to acquire a customer because we think we're going to make $120 in commission over their life, and this is how it would break down, X number of dollars per year, and like that kind of thing. You may do the model and realize, it's probably don't have more than $5 to spend on a customer. We're going to get a lot of customers through word of mouth and press and channels like that, and we're not going to spend a lot. But you got to kind of think about what is your marketing strategy and what's your revenue model, and how does it all works, become financially viable business. Most people, I've found, investors, they want to be helpful. They're likely to be pro-entrepreneur and want to give you some money and wish you best of luck and want to stay informed, but not going to cause any problems. So I wouldn't shy away if somebody you didn't think could add necessarily a lot of value, but they want to write you a $50,000 or $100,000 check at this point. Yeah, I would put them in the mix. Absolutely. And if you can get a couple investors that have done this a lot before, like have a portfolio of companies, they could be really helpful.
I'm a solo founder, but I am really, really, really actively looking for someone technical to bring on board. And I want to know if you have any advice about that. It has been it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure, and I'm trying to weigh how much I need someone who is equally as fired up and passionate and all things in for Black-owned businesses, or do I need someone who's really just extremely good at what they do with the technical side, or what I should be looking for, where I should be looking, who I should be talking to, how you find.
This is a great question. I'm glad you asked this question, because a lot of people that I've talked to, founders, single person founders, are wondering the same thing. Like a co-founder, what should I be looking for in a co-founder? I think the natural tendency might be to try and find someone that fills a gap in skill set. That would be the natural response. Like, okay, you might not be that tech savvy, so find a co-founder that's tech savvy. And that sounds logical, and obviously that would be great, but I think there's usually a give implicit in that, is that you find somebody who's technically like, oh great, you compliment me, maybe not the ideal fit from a cultural standpoint, values alignment. You're gonna be spending a ton of time with this person, maybe as much as 100 hours a week in some cases. And so I think it's really hard to get both. I mean, probably I would say nearly impossible, like finding a needle in a haystack to get both. So my starting place is always find someone that you really like talking to, being around, that shares a passion, that's going to get up in the morning with ideas like you are, and you can talk about them and get excited about them. Part of being an entrepreneur that's very different from working at a corporation is the sheer fun involved in building a business like this. It's just fun. You get with a co-founder that you really like, they will inevitably become one of your closer friends if you spend that much time with them. So approach it from that perspective. Is this person somebody that I really enjoy spending time with, that I think is additive to my thinking? And typically, if you're around another person that is good cultural values, alignment, fit, and smart, and has the passion, you're good. And I wouldn't worry about the skill set, because you could hire for the skill set. You could hire a very competent tech person, you can hire a tech firm and outsource it. There's lots of things you can do. You can't outsource a thought partner that you enjoy being around 100 hours a week. There is a woman, African-American woman that worked at Jet and Walmart called Michelle Gittens. She did talk to me about wanting to be an entrepreneur and wanting to do a business that was in sort of the similar space of you, not exactly the same, but maybe a little more content-wise, but she has a lot of passion for it and was asking me some questions about what it would take to be an entrepreneur and start a business and things. And so I think she's like in between jobs thinking about whether she wants to be an entrepreneur. I could certainly make that intro. I think it would be, at the very least, a good person to know.
Please do. I am all about my intros right now. This year of entrepreneurship, it seems so, I don't know how it's only been a year, but it's taught me so much. Most of all, I cannot do it all by myself, even though I always think that I can.
No, I've always had co-founders in all my businesses because I just find it's fun. It seems lonely to do it alone. Like I want to wake up in the morning with an idea and then like call my co-founder and say, hey, I just had this great idea. And they're like, oh my God, that's so awesome. I had an idea too. It's just you feed off this energy and it's fun.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I think I've gotten a little taste of that. We just got some interns that are helping us with our content, and it's really exciting because they're so excited about working with Nile, and they're like, I love your website. I love what you do. I'm so excited. I'm like, really? You want to work with me? Okay.
That's the best part, by the way. That's the most fulfilling part for me of building a startup, is to see, how excited people are to work at the company and building that, incredible workplace environment and culture, and have a set of values that you live by. And when people leave the company years later and say, wow, that was the best place I ever worked, or I learned so much there, I met so many great people. There's nothing better than that. I mean, that's why you become an entrepreneur at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a large shift from the lawyer brain to the business brain. So I've found myself learning at breakneck speed. I will tell you, a year ago, I did not know what SEO was. I never even heard that term. So it has been a journey. Any other tips that you would give someone in my shoes who's a newbie at the entrepreneurship thing?
I think you're thinking about all the right things. I think you're thinking about getting a partner that can really, help you. I think doing the business plan, getting the slide deck together, thinking about mission and vision, working backwards, having a model, not getting ahead, of your skis in terms of what you want to do with the capital you raise. Just make sure you raise the amount of capital you need to get to that sort of next tranche, and that next investment, and that would be to sort of prove that the customers like the product, and prove that you got a revenue model that makes sense and you can spend dollars and acquire customers, and then worry about sort of what you need to do after the next round to raise the next round. And each round there's different things that you're solving for. But I think you're thinking about the right things. You're focused on the customer. The stuff about getting customer feedback and wanting to make the experience better is really important. I would push on trying to get all 2,000 with some sort of discount code and things, so you're getting both commission and giving a benefit to your consumers. I think that's really important. That's probably where I'd focus a lot of time going forward from here. But no, I think it's a great start. You have the passion. You have everything you need to be successful here, Khadijah. There's nothing that's going to stop you if you stay focused on it. I assure you.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited and I'm happy to hear that. And I actually, speaking of pitch decks, I've been working on the beginnings of a pitch deck. So when it is in a good place, I would love to be able to send it to you and get any comments that you might have from the e-commerce guru brain.
Happy to have a look at it.
And I definitely would love to connect with Michelle, and if you have any other thoughts about other connections, I would love that as well.
Think about it as well, but I'll certainly connect with Michelle. It's been great talking to you. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the advice.
Nighttime there, right? It's probably nighttime there.
It is nighttime, and thankfully my dog has been quiet and well behaved this whole time. So.
All right, Khadijah.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.